Good morning, men. It's Monday morning, and we continue with our vlog devotion, looking at the daily lectionary. So today, for the third week in Lent, we continue in the Gospel of Mark, and the reading is Mark 9, verses 14 through 29. That's a smaller section. It actually goes through the end of the chapter for the day's reading. But we'll just do the story of Jesus healing a boy with an unclean spirit. Matthew 9, verses 14 to 29. And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them, and scribes arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed, and ran up to him and greeted him. And he asked them, "What are you arguing about with them?" This is something he's obviously asking his disciples. And someone from the crowd answered him, "Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able." And he answered them, Jesus is now speaking, "O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him to me." And they brought the boy to him, and when the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And it has often cast him into fire and into water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus said to him, "If you can, all things are possible for one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out, and it seems to imply with the Greek here, or cried out even with tears, and said, "I believe, help my unbelief." And when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "You mute and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse, so that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had entered the house, his disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast it out?" And he said to them, "This kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer." And actually there's a footnote there too that says it could read, "by prayer and fasting." Two of the three pillars of Lent. So first, I want to focus on, let's make something clear about the devil, demons, and evil spirits. They want nothing but to ruin our lives and lead us to doubt the goodness of God. Now, it's also important to know about these demons is they wreak havoc on your body, sometimes physically. And I think what's interesting today is some people would look at what this boy has and say, "Oh, he's epileptic. He has these various things that are scientifically explained." And I think what's important to remember here is Jesus says, no, he's got a demon. And Jesus drives out the demon because Jesus was a man of prayer and fasting, and it was God's will to drive this demon out, and he had the power to do so. And so he does. And the other great thing of this story, or that wasn't so great in terms of the demons, but it's great in terms of Jesus driving it out and him being one who can drive out demons. But the other thing we need to grasp, particularly during Lent, is the Father's cry and tears to Jesus when Jesus says, "All things are possible for the one who believes." And then the Father makes this beautiful confession basically and says to him, "I believe, but help my unbelief." And in this cry we see the desperation and the Father's full acknowledgement that he can do nothing for his son. It's not within his power, and he hates seeing his son like this. But Jesus, he can. And Jesus moves in his life and the boy's life in such a way that this man now walks away with faith and trust in Jesus and the power of God in his life. He also walks away seeing his son freed from the possession and the oppression that this demon had on his son. And men, that's great news, and that's exactly where we need to be, is desperate for what only God can do in our life. Men, have a great day.